Here is a cue that you can be mindful of. When we see students bringing the arms up over the head and the shoulders creep up to the ears, it's commonly said to pull the shoulders down away from the ears. That cue is actually a compensation on top of a compensation. Yes, granted, we don't want to have the shoulders up to the ears, but we really need to step back and look at why did the shoulders come up to the ears in the first place. Looking here at Stan's back, you can see his spine and his ribs, as well as his shoulder blade and his humerus, or the upper arm bone. You'll see the medial border here of the blade, the lower or the inferior angle, and the lateral border of the blade. This blade, when our arms move up over our head, needs to move in upward rotation. This inferior angle is going to move this way. So the whole piece of this moves like that. That all moves this way. The glenoid fossa, which is the part of the shoulder blade that connects to the humerus to create the glenohumeral joint, that glenoid fossa has to be pointing upward in order for those arms to move up. If the blade doesn't have that movement, if it's stuck in any way, then we're going to find an alternative means to get the arms up overhead. So for some people, it will be bringing the shoulders or bringing the blades up into elevation as opposed to upward rotation. So really, when we see someone who's bringing their shoulders up to the ears, it's not so much to pull their blades back down that's going to help improve their function and then help reduce their pain through their body and help them progress through their poses much more quickly. It's they actually have to improve the functional capacity and capability through this shoulder area. So consider that when you're working with your people. One such movement that you can play with as an alternative to bringing the arms up over the head, which you might see that many people in your class can't do, is you can bring people up into a position here that I call cowboy surrender. It's also called cactus or goalpost, just depending on where you're from. And you can be here. Now in this position, we can start to release some of the myofascia that connects onto the front of the shoulder blade, the coracoid process, as well as underneath the clavicle and outward onto the arm bone. You can also bring the arms out like so. Take the arms slightly behind. Take the hands behind a little bit. And just start to work at improving the suppleness of the tissue through the shoulder blade and the arms. Then from here, after a few breaths, then you can take the arms up over the head, taking the leg back as you step back into warrior one or into any other position. So the idea here is that we're not compensating on top of a compensation in order to just create a pose for the sake of the pose. It's actually taking a look at the mechanics and the function of the movement and how can you actually improve the function of the movement so you and your people can progress. Have a great time exploring.